to all students or pupils na nag-struggle sa fractions. So this video is for you. Now, this video consists of two parts. The first part is adding the similar fractions wherein we take the LCM by listing the multiples of the denominator. So this is basically for the beginners, no? Now, for the second part, addition of the similar fractions pa din, pero this time, we have to take the LCM mentally. Kasi we need to level up, especially if you are already in grade 6 or pataas, kailangan medyo mabilis na, okay? So, let's get started. Okay, how do we add fractions having different denominators? Let us consider the following problem. Add the following. Number 1, 5, 6 plus 3 eighths. Now, what is the first step? The first step is to find the LCM or the least common multiple. Paano natin kukunin yon? By writing the multiples of our denominators. So our denominators are 6 and 8. So let us take the multiples of 6 first. We have 6, 12, 18, 24, and so on and so forth. No? Stop muna tayo dyan. Now, for 8, we have 8, 16, and 24. No, siguro alam nyo bakit tuminto ako sa 24, no? Because I know that the LCM is 24. So, ang LCM natin ay 24. Now, the next step is to convert each fraction into equivalent fractions by taking the LCM as the denominator. So, kukunin natin yung 24 as denominator, and then we convert each fraction to its equivalent fraction by taking the denominator as LCM. So, paano gagawin yon? Paano ba natin nakuha yung 24? Diba? We multiply 6 by 4. And so, we do the same for 5. No? Kapag minultiply nyo ang numerator and denominator by the same number, yung value ng fraction remains the same. No? Pareho pa rin yun. So, multiply 5 by 4, we get 20. Now, for 3 eighths naman, saan natin minultiply ang 8 para maging 24? Diba sa 3 yan? So, we also multiply 3 by 3, yung numerator natin, to get the same value as 3 eighths. And that is 9 over 24. And then, what's the next step? The next step is to add the numerators with LCM as the denominator. So, 20 plus 9 is 29. And then take the LCM as your denominator. The last step is to simplify if possible. Can we still simplify 29 over 24? O pwede lang yung masimplify if they have common factor. Pero wala silang common factor, so 29 over 24 is our final answer. Okay, number 2, 3/4 plus 7/12. First step, take the LCM. So for 4, we have 4, 8, 12. 12 multiples of 12. Ayan. Now, stop na tayo kasi nagkaparehas na sila. By the way, hindi ko yata nasabi sa number 1 ang pagkuha ng LCM kung saan unang magkakaparehas yung multiples ng denominator, yon ang LCM. So dito, nagkaparehas na sila sa 12. Yan ang LCM natin. Sorry about that. Hindi ko yata nabanggit yon. Okay, now, taking the LCM as denominator, which is 12, we are now going to rename the equivalent fractions of 3/4 and 7/12. So, saan minultiply si 4 kaya naging 12 sa 3. So, we do the same for the numerator. Multiply this by 3, we get 9. For 7/12, dahil 12 na ang denominator niyan, copy na lang. And then, add the numerators. We have 9 plus 7 is 16 over 12. Now, since 16 and 12 are both divisible by 4, so reduce to lowest term, divide both by 4, we have 4 over 3. So the final answer is 4 over 3. Number 3, what if kapag tatlo na ang fractions natin, we have 8 over 9 plus 1/3 plus 7 over 6. So pareho lang ang steps, no? Just take the multiples of the denominators to get the LCM. So let's start with 3. So for 3, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. So stop muna tayo dyan. For 6, we have 6, 12, 18. And for 9, we have 9, 18. Okay, pare-parehas na yung ating last factor. So yan na yung ating LCM. So taking 18 as our LCM, we will now get the equivalent fractions of each fraction. For 8 over 9, so saan natin multiply si 9? Sa 2. So we do the same for 8 to get the equivalent fraction. So that is 16 over 18. For 1/3, saan multiply si 3? Multiply sa 6. Multiply din natin to by 6. So we get 6 over 18. And for 7 over 6, multiply to sa 3. Multiply din natin to sa 3. We have 21 over 18. And then add the numerators. We have 16 plus 6 is 22. 22 plus 21 is 43 over 18. So can we still reduce this to lowest term? I don't think so because 43 and 18 do not have a common factor. So final answer is 43 over 18. Now, some teachers want this to transform to a mixed fraction, no? For me, hindi na yung kailangan as long as your fraction is in lowest term. Okay? So as I said a while ago, sa second part, we'll try to add fractions na hindi na natin kailangang list pa yung multiples ng ating denominator para makuha ang LCM, no? We will do it mentally. Now, bakit natin kailangan yon? Well, hindi naman pwedeng every time na mag-a-add tayo ng fractions ay ililista pa natin yung multiples just to get the LCM. Kailangan mag-level up tayo kasi kung minsan you are under time pressure, kapag ganun pa ang gagawin nyo, hindi nyo matatapos ang test, right? So, paano ba kinukuha ang LCM or LCD mentally? Madali lang naman, no? So, for example, we have 4/5 and 11 over 25. Ang denominators natin ay 5 and 25. Kapag yung mas malaking denominator ay divisible sa maliit, yun na ang LCM natin. So, since 25 is divisible by 5, 25 na ang LCM natin. So, taking 25 as the LCM, let us get the equivalent fractions of 4/5 and 11/25. So, saan minultiply si 5? Kaya naging 25 sa 5, right? So, we do the same for 4. Multiply by 5, we get 20. Now, for 11 over 25, since pareho na silang 25, kopya na lang yung 11. Now, the next step is to add the numerators. 20 plus 11 is 31. Taking the LCM as denominator, so we have 31 over 25. Now, is this still reducible to lowest term? Hindi na, no? Why? Because 31 and 25 do not have a common factor. So, 31 over 25 is our final answer. So, let's go to number 5, 8 over 15 plus 9 over 20. Now, notice that 20 is not divisible by 15. So, paano ang gagawin pagka naman ganon? So, if the larger denominator is not divisible by the smaller denominator, you have to think of a number na pwede silang i-divide pareho. So, dapat mas malaki kay 20 yun, no? In other words, ang LCM hindi pwedeng bababa sa mga denominators natin, ano? It's either yung largest denominator or mas malaki pa doon. So in this case, isip tayo ng mas malaki kay 20 na madidivide ang 15 and 20. Ano yon? Well, that is 60. O dapat kabisado natin ang multiplication table, no? to get the LCM mentally. Otherwise, mahirapan tayong kumuha ng LCM mentally. So, taking 60 as the LCM, let's take the equivalent fractions of 815 and 920. Saan minultiply si 15 kaya naging 60, iba by 4. So we do the same for 8 multiplied by 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Now for 9 over 20, multiply si 20 by 3, right? To get 60. So we do the same for 9 multiplied by 3 to get the equivalent fraction. 9 times 3 is 27. So next step is to add the numerators. 32 plus 27 is 59 over 60. Now, is this reducible to lowest term? Obviously, hindi na, no? Because 59 and 60 do not have a common factor. So final answer is 59 over 60. So let's have the last number 6, 2/5 plus 1/4 plus 2/3. Now notice that the greatest denominator, which is 5, is neither divisible by 4 nor by 3. So we have to think of a number na mas malaki kay 5 na madidivide silang tatlo. Now, one of the easiest way of getting the LCM is by getting the product of the denominators, no? So, ano ba ang product nito? We have 5 times 4 is 20, times 3 is 60. The product of the denominators automatically becomes your LCM kapag ang mga denominators nyo ay lahat prime, no? Like for instance, kung yan ay 2/5 plus 1/2 plus 2/3, automatic yan, ano? 5 times 2, 10 times 3 is 30. Ang LCM natin ay 30. Why? Kasi lahat ng denominator natin ay prime numbers. But here in our example, meron tayong 4 which is not a prime number. So what do you do with 60? So hindi pa tayo sure kung ito ang ating LCM. Now, to determine whether 60 ang LCM natin o meron pang mas mababa sa kanya, divide it by 2. 60 divided by 2 is 30. Now, 30 is divisible by 5 and by 3, but not by 4. So, hindi natin pwedeng kunin ang 30 as our LCM. So, 60 is our LCM. So, taking 60 as our LCM, let us now get the equivalent fractions of each. Equivalent fraction of 2/5. Saan minultiply si 5? Sa 12 para maging 60. So we do the same for 2. 2 times 12 is 24. For 1/4 naman, saan minultiply si 4? Sa 15 to get 60. So we do the same for 1 multiplied by 15. So that is 15 over 60. And finally, for 2/3, multiply si 3 kay 20. Multiply 2 by 20, we get 40 over 60. So taking the sum of the numerators, we have 24 plus 15 is 39, plus 40 is 79 over 60. Can we still reduce to lowest term? I don't think so, because 79 and 60 do not have a common factor. So 79 over 60 is our final answer. Okay?